All right, good morning, guys, and welcome to the Andrew's Saturday morning recap show, where we go over, what took place the night before, which was Friday night. Last night we took on Timberland Wolves. Things didn't go the way we wanted to go, but it was senior night, so I'm waiting on. First of all, please, somebody let me know if you can hear me. Okay, I am obviously broadcasting from my vehicle, not in the studio this morning, but please tell me if you can hear me well. Let's see what we got. If you can hear me, please get in the comment section. Let me know that you can hear me. Again, last night we celebrated senior night, and I wanted to take some time here to let me bring up my co-host here. All right, can you hear me?
Yes, gotcha.
Okay, good deal, good deal. Yeah, I'm broadcasting from
Looks like you were
not
broadcasting
not my normal place,
on
so you
location.
guys got to kind of bear with me here this morning.
Okay, we there?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can hear me, right? Everything's
Yes, got you loud and clear.
okay. All right, but yeah, last night we dropped a tough one right there to Timberland, another tough team in this new conference that we've entered. And yeah, again it was senior night, so I'm gonna go through some photos here. Again, y'all got to kind of bear with me here. Tell me if this is going like it's
Yeah,
supposed to.
how's my lighting? Yeah, I'm not at my normal outdoor.
Oh,
Do I need to work on that?
no, you're good. I actually got better lighting than I got right now. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't even have a stand. I'm holding it. That's why you see the camera moving and all that craziness.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, and some thoughts on senior night last night.
Yeah, it's of course it's always important to identify recognize our seniors and the parents. It's real good thing to do in the school environment. The thing that was touching, man. We lost a young lady that we recognized her family last night, Miss Haley, and so it was tough in the booth, man, because you have one of the teachers up, well, teaching coaches that was in there with me, so it was pretty tough. We had to, you know, go through that and recognize in remembrance of the young lady who was on the band. And so, but all in all, man, it's good to see the parents out there with them, and the crowd was out last night. Remember last week we talked about the support for the team, and I think they came out last night. It was very good. So, so we losing as 12, seven seniors, I think, from the football team, and all those members that we're losing from across the sports was going to obviously have an impact. But always good to see those young kids highlighted doing the things that they love to do. The illusion. We're having some technical difficulties here. See, the pictures are still rolling. I'm assuming you're still here. I can't hear you. Yeah, Curtis had a big night last night. We'll talk a little bit about that, Mr. Curtis Anderson. All right, so I don't have control of the switches, so I'm not sure if we're still live. I see the pictures being displayed. So if anyone out there can hear me, please bear with us.
All right, I am back. I think I'm back, and then I've lost the mayor. All right, guys. Again, I apologize. I tell you what we're gonna do. Once I get him back in here, I am not going to attempt to share any photos or anything like that because that's what's causing me the little headache right now. So what I'll do is I'll just get on screen here, and then we'll talk about Andrews High School football. And last night, again, senior night, big night for Curtis last night. Kurt came down with two of them. I heard you just pop back in there. Let's see. All right, there we go.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't
All right,
couldn't hear you. I
yeah,
saw the photos rotating through.
yeah. I was talking, not realizing that I hadn't added myself to the stage there. So again, we're gonna do this without the graphics today because that's impossible on this phone right now. So,
Oh,
but
we don't have any of the photos.
nah, I mean I've got them all loaded. It's just I'm trying to do this from my phone, and that's not no, that's not set up for that. I promise you. But yeah, like you're saying, yeah, it was tough down there for me. I always, I mean, unfortunately, I understand what it is for a parent to lose a child, and that is so it's always tough. Any circumstance is just that's not the way that's supposed to happen. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, that was a touching moment. But again, it was good to see, the kids from cross country and all these other different um, areas get recognized. Our band members. We didn't have a very large senior class. I noticed.
No, no, no. It's for the football team. Obviously, it's seven. Last year we had a huge turnover last year.
Mhm.
The good thing with that, we have uh, 21, 21 juniors returning next year, and obviously that's important. A lot of those guys have been starting for the past 2 years, so this season is not over. So we don't want people to think that we've thrown in the towel because we're not, because there's still a lot to be to play for. Um, but as we look at talk about kids seniors and leaving, it's also important to highlight those juniors and those that are coming up and going to fill those shoes. So yeah, a good night overall, with the exception that we lost a very tough game.
Yeah, and I mean that's you got to find a way to win the tough, against good teams. And last night we went up against a team that was huge. I mean, they had big kids. I mean, O'Reilly. I was pleasantly surprised to find out that Riley is a junior. I thought Riley out there playing like a senior. Um,
No, no, he'll be back. We got that young man back another year. Um, and so, in fact, I'll run down a um, couple of stars. Well, I can't because there's so many of them. But Riley and a whole bunch of them coming back. Davion, it's cats. But it's like folks like Jacoby, Aiden, Brandon. Those guys. This was their last best shot at a championship, and so that's where where you feel for those guys, because just like we talk about our high school football days more than anything we've done in college or beyond. So it's a big deal, but they got a lot to be proud for, and then more to play for. So it's not over. We still got it.
no,
We got
no,
Burke next week, and after that homecoming, everybody wants to win their homecoming. But we have a tough, and I don't want to move past Burke, but we have a tough. We have Philip Simmons coming up on homecoming. So these next two games are just as important as anything else.
yeah,
Now I can't.
and
But
I do believe if we get these next two, we will definitely find our way into the playoffs, and and we can get, because again, defense last night played their asses off last night. Excuse the phrase.
yeah,
Our bookends, Khalil and Chris, just lights out. Aiden again on that in that middle linebacker spot. The guys. I mean, we had some really big stops where down inside 10, and guys buckled down, and but we just couldn't turn it over on offense. Couldn't put that series together to bring it home for us.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the numbers, just look at the stats for both teams. We came in almost even across the board. Barring the size of the team, the numbers of players on the opposite side, in terms of the stats, Andrews was actually ranked number 17, and Timberland number 18. And Timberland, now their defense held true because they were giving up an average of 14 points. Last night, exactly 14 points.
14.
And there was about a 5-point difference in our scoring. And you kind of saw that last night. Last night it was 7. So we held true. So the difference, in my opinion, is that we blew a lot of opportunities with turnovers.
Yeah, that's been the story of the last
big difference right there. Yeah. They protected the ball a lot better than we did. There was some. Yeah, we did not protect the ball, and you don't have to dig deep to find out what caused us our chances last night. We couldn't run up the middle. We tried running up the middle a lot last night.
They had 1,200 pounds in the middle, man. They had 1,200. I felt for O'Reilly in that middle last night, man.
I'd love to hear what those guys were thinking, because as I said, okay, there's no vacancy inside that. There's no vacancy in there. There's no opening, and so but I saw as the game progressed, it started to loosen up a little bit. But again, we had expended so much time and energy, and I heard some of the players, talked about these guys. They probably scouted us pretty good, so they kind of knew our pattern. They spent the time, and that's what good teams do. They go out and look at it because they know we're a tough team in this region.
Mm-hmm.
So we were watching. I could hear in the press box, I could hear the coach right beside us calling them out. I mean, those guys knew what we were coming with. And you see when we started to add a little, mixed direction, we started having some success because they were playing us. They saw our pattern, how we run in plays, and then coach. And again, we have a very bright, smart coach. He saw that and started changing things up. And that's when you're seeing our offense start to move more, giving our guys like AJ the ability to run outside, to isolate him. And it's almost never one-on-one with those guys. They had 14 players out there. But if you get AJ Lee on 2 of them, he's going to beat him. He's going to beat him, and that's where we had success. We started to see some of that last night. But I'm seeing a pattern over the last 2 or 3 games. We've had more turnovers in, and some confusion a little bit on the offensive side, and I don't know why that is. I'm not sure what's happening. Last week we attributed a lot of that to the kids being out of school and not, being into the school environment, and staying engaged and just coming to practice and then showing up Friday night to play. Not sure what the distraction is, but it's something going on that has to be fixed if we're going to win these next few games. I mean, you can't even go into a Burke, and Burke is, it's not playing as well as we are, but you can't go in there half-stepping next week.
Absolutely, absolutely can't. Yeah, and it's there's I don't know, we lost a step on offense or something. I'm not sure what the but the ball handling is definitely got to pick up in these last 2 games as we finish up the conference. It's got to pick up. As far as just the when we get down, and it's crucial times that we're putting the ball on the ground. Right there at the end there last night, that fumble, and then the defense stood up and held, right in the 4th quarter, held them out of the end zone. But just
lot of credit to the defense. They did their part. They gave the offense enough time, space to
Absolutely,
for us to beat these
absolutely,
guys. So
absolutely.
they have
This week,
always
and last week.
yeah, they've always been there, and not a huge letdown on that side. I know as our defensive backs get a little bit more experience, we're going to be able to, the mindset is intercept that ball and don't or knock it down, and certainly don't let that receiver get behind you, because we're not very tall back there.
No,
We're not
and
very
they had some
tall,
tall receivers out
and
there.
there's some tall receivers, and so it's difficult. And the quarterback wasn't shabby at all.
No,
Who was it? Is I think Malik Goodman. Yeah, Malik wasn't a bad ball player, and I noticed, but he would always give it away when he's about to throw. He goes into a squat before he receives the ball. He goes in some squat, and then the ball is hiked, and he's up throwing. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But it was a pattern that you could see and know that there's going to be a pass. And again, they got it to him. The other thing that they have picked up, and a lot of these teams are from the Charleston, that side of town, and it seems like they're sharing notes on us. So they'll always come up with that lateral or running, that flat, either pass or running to the flats and turning up, which means that they're probably studying before we make the adjustments, our ends are probably playing in a little bit too close. But we have done very well at adjusting to big plays. Coach pick up on those things, and then you see then when we move our guys out a little bit, then you just see that it's shut down, lights out. If you're running towards Khalil or you're running towards Chris Stewart, there's nothing going to be on the outside. And so that so we a lot of great individual performances last night. Certainly a team effort on the defensive side, but we got to get the offense back on track. It's good to see Avery come in and get some snaps last night. I wish he'd come in a little bit earlier, because we needed to mix things up a little bit. We needed to show them something different. And you see the adjustments. We see the adjustments, and he got some touches, and that's going to be good again. I don't know. I don't understand what happens after the 2nd of November in terms of playoffs, but we got to have a lot of flexibility in our offensive scheme to be able to go beyond that if we're getting to the playoff.
Yeah, I think a couple of people were wondering what happened in that last sequence right there with Brandon, and I think he dinged his shoulder up a little bit, and so we got Avery in there, and
because he ended up playing a little bit both ways.
Yeah, in that situation, Avery, Avery throws a better ball, a deep ball. You know what I mean? And I wish he was able to uncork that. You know what I mean? That last play that was a pass interference, but man, that's the thing. You can't leave this. You cannot. The officiating, and I can say this comfortably just throughout the season, it's been consistently bad when you talking pass interference and
very inconsistent,
that kind of thing. So, my advice to teams would be take it out of the referee's hands, because if it comes down to that call, man, there's some, and I get it, not wanting to affect the game, but
no, it is. You have to, and you're right. Back to Brandon, when Brandon ended up playing on the D back, and laid a pretty good pop on one of the doing one of the plays, and I think that where he may have hurt his shoulder a little. I'm not sure, but I could see him favoring that, and recognizing that, and getting again Avery in was a good move, because again we got to keep these guys healthy, because we want to do that. We want the season to end with everybody still intact, but then we still have 2 more games, and so getting that experience across the board. If Brandon was with his sophomore year, he was all-state defensive back, so he knows that position well. But it's a lot on a player when he's involved almost in contact throughout the game.
There you go. And that's I said the kind of quarterback he is essentially is a running back. So he's taking a lot of pounding.
So it's a lot to ask of from that position. You go from there to there. Now I know running backs and D-backs, that happens all the time in high school you play, but you get your quarterback having to do two tough tasks against a very, very good team. It'll have its toll on you before the end of the game. But I give a big shout out to AJ, man. That's my dude. AJ never flinches.
No, AJ got to get low coming through that hole, run a little low. AJ be taking some shots. He's a tough kid, man.
Yeah, you got to bring it down.
Shots. Get up laughing at them like, I'm like, boy.
Yeah. But we don't want him taking those kind of. You're right, because I saw him jump over one time and then he ran into a wall.
Yeah.
He bounced back up, but we don't want him taking that. He's got another year with us, and hopefully more as he goes to the next level. But he is just a tough young man and runs hard on every play. He and Dutch in terms of in the backfield, man, are some real bright spots for the team coming back next year. But shout out to those guys. You mentioned earlier, Khalil and Chris on the corners. Those guys didn't, those guys it seemed like they picked up energy throughout the game.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like there was a bet between those two who's going to get to the quarterback first. Now, one thing they're going to have to do, and I don't know if I don't want to take away from the offensive line, but it was a couple of times where they end up around as quarterback stepped up. And again, good blocking could take an aggressive defensive end and just shield him right out of the play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there was a couple of times where they were there, they were on him, but it was like a suction cup, and that guy stepped right up and made a couple of big plays. But that didn't happen often.
That last big throw he made down in the fourth quarter, man, that kid stepped up in the pocket and showed some heart, stood in there, and in a line, that line held up for him, and he was able to get that one off. That last play that kind of just took everything out of us.
Yep. Davion played with energy. Now, Davion, we know Davion to be the big man on campus.
Davion got a haircut.
Yeah, he got a haircut.
I just noticed he cut his dreads. I'm sitting there at the end of the game. I'm looking now you looking like the man child for real.
I didn't notice that. But did you see your Desmond Green, number 76? This kid is. Again, Davion is the big man on campus around here, but stand up against that cat. Now he handled him. Now Davion did his thing, but that was a big dude.
That was a whole lot. And again, it gives our guys, because that guy's being offered by every college in the state. I mean, and every college almost in the country. So that's a good, it's a good litmus test. You know what I mean? To where, hey, man, I think our guys will stand up against, some of your top recruits. I think, and I guess that's what the frustration is sometimes when we don't get the love down on this end, because, that's like the kid out in Carver's Bay and Giles. If you want to come in this year, you might as well go ahead and finish your senior year on over here. You know what I mean? I can see you, Davion, Riley. But yeah, again, we win these two, which I'm feeling confident we're gonna get these last two. We get these last two. We get in the playoffs. It's looking like we're gonna have to go on the road. Okay, we put ourselves in a position where we're gonna have to go and be the spoiler. But I like our chances. I really do like our chances.
Hey, I'm telling you right now. I know. I looked at the games that we lost and won. We are a better team, and I can't define all of the areas. But we are a better. If we play our game mistakes free. Okay, we protect the ball, and even as we go into, again, in my opinion, we go in. We don't employ a kicking game. So that's kind of a handicap coming into it. But we are still a better athletic team I think better coach, but we got to figure out a couple of things. Again, protect the ball, and how do we avoid these slow starts? Because you can't get behind on these teams we have to play. Philip Simmons, Hannah Hands of the world.
We got this habit of we want to spot them a few points and then what I mean, see how we run them down because they drove the ball down on us fairly easy on that first drive. It's like and then we woke up.
Yeah, we can't do that. We got if we could fix that. If we can come out with that the mentality that we're gonna, we're just gonna beat them down every opportunity as opposed to, waiting for something to click, for us to get going. Because once we get going, we're there. But with good teams or equally, athletic teams, it may be, a play too late.
Yeah, because I mean, it comes down to this conference. This is a good conference, and it comes down to those 3 or 4 plays, those turnovers. There are those 3 or 4 plays in a game because again, like you said, across the board, you're talking about 16 and 17 ranked teams, so evenly matched pretty much across the board, and it comes down to those, who can avoid the mistakes.
Yep, that's it. That's what And coach said it best. I forgot his quote. He said, "We can't be beat.
Don't let this loss beat you twice."
Yeah, don't let this loss beat you twice. And he's absolutely right. And behind that phrase or that thought, we can't make the same mistakes, or we can't take this attitude into the next game. And I don't believe it was an attitude. The guys came into play. It's just that we can't get it done without controlling. Your best shot is controlling the ball. Now, Curtis gave us an opportunity, to score on those 2 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
But your chances are better when you're controlling the ball yourself.
Yep.
So offense has got to get it together. Got to get it together.
Yeah.
Got to get back synchronized, and the defense keep holding strong.
There you go, man. But you again, you got a defense like that. You can't. You gotta help them. Yeah. You gotta give them help because I think with that defense there, if you give that defense there 18, 20 points, they'll handle the rest.
Yeah, and big Riley in the middle, man. He had about 600 plus pounds to deal with.
I know Riley slept good last night.
I realized I hadn't called his name. I started looking. I said, "What's happening in there? What's going on?" And it was just, this two big dudes, and he's right on him. So it's hard to get around him because you're in there. So it seems to me that what he started doing is trying to take them out. Just go ahead and clog it. You can't move him. So he would. I forgot that I can't remember what move it was, but he would pretty much try to take their legs from under them, shut that down, and with hopes that the rest of the defense could step in, which they did. And again, I saw Davion moving laterally and making tackles on the opposite side of where he was. So I don't know, again, was that by design? But the best thing to do with those 2 big guys that Riley had to deal with, man, is just get their knees, clog them up.
Let's cause a stalemate in the middle.
Cause a stalemate in the middle. We this is going to be ground zero right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sacrifice my body, and then depend on the other 10 to stop that game, man. And again, I don't know if that's by design, because as we talk to these young men, I hear the football intelligence, if you will, or that IQ understanding the game. When we talk to him, and I say, so I don't know whether last night that was something he developed or he just decided to do, or the coach put that in play. But I thought it was very effective because there was no moving that 600-pound wall that he had to deal with by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they knew something because they was doubling on him. They knew, like, yeah, that was a tough one last night. Again, the guys overall again played a good game. I hated that the seniors, had to drop that on senior night, but we cannot turn the ball over against these good teams and expect to come out of there with a win. No,
and we played them. We struck back, and what I want to leave from this talk show is that there's still a lot of football to be played.
Absolutely.
and there's still opportunity. If there's a chance, there's a window for us to get in. We just understand that we can't take any more of these type L's, and we got to play. Don't let the W's drive us. Let the W's drive us to the next level, wherever that may take us. So Burke should, Burke is different. We're going in on their home turf. And I haven't done any deep dives on them other than they just don't have a very good record.
No, we should tune up for Burke to go into now. There's danger in that because you can look past Burke, looking at homecoming and go right down to Burke and get your head knocked in. So
yeah, can't do that. However, hopefully it's an opportunity. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's right now we're in a situation where we got to win. Like you said, just win. Just keep winning. Keep winning. Keep the season alive. Keep winning. Keep winning. Wins. Wins keep the season alive.
Yeah, absolutely. That gives you hope, and we just keep playing like that. And so hopefully, if we go in and handle business with Burke, we can get hopefully take some of the starters out there and get some of these other guys with some touches. And again, because we got to come all hands on deck when we play Phillip Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just all hands on deck. Phillip Simmons, they have lost 2, and I don't know what they did last night, but they're in the same. They got to play hand in hand. They got to play, Timberland, or they have. So we're all getting a piece of each other, and so they should be as beat up as we are. Fortunately, we don't have any. I don't think we have any major injuries now that Khalil came back. So we should go into this thing here, these next two games, just full blast.
Yeah.
48 minutes of good football, man. And what happened there at the end? I never got, because we had a huge penalty.
Coach got into the referee a little bit. You know what I mean?
As he should.
As he should, yeah. Because they again, the officiating has been horrible this year.
They've hurt us. We've hurt ourselves. We put ourselves in a position. But you said it earlier. Don't leave it up to the officials.
No,
but the officials, you can't be on top of a play and not make the call. There was a couple of interferences.
Standing, looking right at a pass interference. I mean,
yeah.
It's,
and you expect that to be a no-brainer.
Officiating has been horrible.
It's horrible in the clutches. But knowing that, let's not leave it to them. Yep. And so I can understand, because I saw this, this madness. I said, "What in the world?" I had no idea what it was. But again, I understand, Coach. I understand, and maybe they will wake these refs up. We're not going to stand by and let this happen, And so if anybody get on the referee, it should be the coach and not the players. And so I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Get at him, Coach. I'm okay. But and lets the players know, man, that he's behind them, and they know that. But they got to be out in front of the coach and don't put him in that predicament either. Execute. So that's where we are, man. That was, again, I'm still very hopeful. We got a lot to look forward to here in the next.
Yeah, still a lot to play for. Still a lot to play for.
And so we're not going to get our guest host on the night today, is it?
No. Aiden's getting a haircut, and again, I think Riley had a long night. I wouldn't even expect to hear from Riley this morning.
No, I was looking for a senior.
Oh yeah, senior said no. He going to pass on the day. He was.
I give him a shout out though.
No doubt. Shout out to.
But it's good to see to
Mr. Jordan.
Yeah, where I was in the box there, I can see Mr. Jordan and Mr. Marlowe, and so you got two dads sitting there, man. I mean, standing there.
Whoa! You got to put Mr. White in there too. You got to put Harry White Jr. in there too.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I didn't see. I know Harry was there, and I talked to him coming in. But these two gentlemen right there in my vision, as I'm trying to call the game, and just seeing two fathers, man, analyze and the intensity coming. It's a good thing, man. That was real. That was real cool. Oh, Harry's gonna. They told me Harry came in last week with a boombox.
Somebody said his voice must go out Friday night and then come back Friday because he don't be quiet the whole. Hey man,
that's my guy, man. We played ball together.
And what it is, man, once you play anti football, you become a part of that fraternity. Then you will understand, the passion and the love. So
yeah, man, Harry is on it, man, and he's walking. In fact, that's why I was getting so much joy on the off games. I was able to get down there with the man and then be a true fan, as opposed to being that restricted play caller. And that was quite an experience with Harry, and again with Jared, down and just walking and understanding, a little bit more about the play and how to, talking to Jared, and understanding how Riley thinks. So, off the field at home and those conversations they have, and understanding, Jared's IQ of the ball, of the game, and it's just real cool to have those kind of conversations, man, and get out there and root on our ball players. So we like to see, and of course, Vernier's always there, up and down. He's a little bit more reserved than we are, but he is on it. Vernier's there too. But we're a little bit over the top.
No, I seen Cat last night. Cat, I said, Cat, is they feeding you up there, Erskine? Cat looking all, looking all streamlined in the face and stuff. I'm like, all right. But he said he's doing good up there, man. It's good to hear. Good to see them guys, come back and
yeah, they also.
Offer inspiration also. You know what I mean? Because again, I was just on the field with him last year. And,
yeah, that's their boy. Well, I'm hopeful that he will be in it as purple and gold or purple and yellow next year down at Benedict College. That's where
I don't know. He ain't said nothing. I think he's watching
White.
Tunk. I think he's watching old Tunk up there at Erskine and becoming inspired by that.
Tunk Dorsey, we want them all to Benedict. I know Tunk is probably, he's making his mark up there in Erskine. And but if I can get them all to go to Benedict, man, Riley Jordan, get them all down there. Put that HBCU colors on. Come on down. It's a very diverse team. In fact, our quarterback is not an African American, and he's doing well. So Benedict is a real good school to go to. That it's my alma mater. And
I got a family member who's the alma mater who's promised me that he was going to get me a sideline pass. I guess that's next season that he. But
hey, don't call Mark. Don't call Mark out like that.
Hey, I go to practice every day down there. Okay, who you talking to then? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that shouldn't be difficult. We're gonna have to call some of the inside guys, man. But no, I'd love to see some of our high school ball players right now go to a school that is closer. We can get out there and support them. But wherever they go, they're going to do great. And but I'm always promoting Benedict College. Always. Hey, good stuff, man.
No doubt. Again, next week we'll be here. We're talking about a win, back on the right track, and I'm going ahead and like I said, I'm going to go ahead and claim that one. I think my boys, these guys know they know how good they are, and they know, you know what I mean. They know when they are harder on themselves than any of us could possibly be. I'm on the sideline, I'm listening, and so. But again, it was good to see the parents, come out, family members, grandmas and aunties and aunts, to recognize our seniors last night. So that was a great highlight for me.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna go ahead. My offensive player last night is no doubt AJ Lee. That's my guy. And on the defensive side, a lot of that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I'll have to give a collective. I'll have to give a collective on that.
Okay.
But you know what I wish I was tracking, and I'll track it next year. How many plays Chris and Khalil run down from the opposite side of the field and tackle for a loss. So
Yeah.
the back's trying to make his way down the cut up field, and here come 7 and 8. So,
yeah.
But,
Yes, I agree with you 100%. But in that collective group, I'm gonna put you on the spot. In that, I mean, no. Let's
on just from a defensive perspective last night.
How many is no? I think this is a group. Again, I think we probably. I know I called some names earlier. The two bookends, Chris and Khalil, Aiden in the middle. Certainly, Kurt. Big Kurt, little big man. I gotta give a shout out to Riley, man. So I'm almost at okay, it's the whole defense. It's the whole defense. They did it again. I can't. You're right. I'll be that call them all, man. Because again, yeah, it's the whole defense.
Yeah.
It's the whole defense. So they got it together. We can't separate them fellas, man. They got it together.
Yeah. Jacoby had a tough night in there last night, man.
I'd like to see him at linebacker.
Yeah, I'd like to see him pull his hand out of the dirt, stand him up, and point him in a direction and send him. And let's see, you know what I mean? I love to see Aiden back there directing him, hey, take this gap and just go,
Yeah, I would certainly, because his style of play is that he's just like Aiden. They go to the ball, and if you're locked in head down on that line, all you can do is try to be as great as you can on that side of the ball. But you give a player like that who is just so mobile and
change his eye level
and reckless in terms of just he'll sacrifice his body for a play. If he was up and can move with his speed and power and aggressiveness, I'm telling you, Jacoby Saunders would be. You'd hear his name called a lot more.
At the next level, that's what he would translate as a outside linebacker. Put on a couple more pounds.
He's got to put on some more. Yeah, he's got to put on some pounds.
He definitely because last night it was just like moving a mountain last night for him, and and I got to telling them, look, you're not going to beat this guy with size, with strength. He's just too big. So use what you got. And right in the fourth quarter, he made a big play. You know what I mean? Just blew the gap and got up in the backfield for maybe tackle for a loss. So
yeah, I'd like to see him there. I mean, of course, that's coach, but just looking at his skills and how mobile and and his lateral movements, and just again the nose. It's almost like Dennis Rodman in basketball. You don't know how he got to it. He just had a nose for rebound. He know how to be in the right spot to get the ball, and that's kind of Jacoby. Jacoby and again Aiden, because they move about so much, and they're always almost always around the tackle, and that would have, especially last night, because again as you stated, and you had a better view. It was hell trying to get through that middle on all that beef they had up front.
Yeah,
and you just can't bowl through that if your weight is not up.
Yeah, I mean, for 4 quarters, that's gonna wear you down completely.
Yeah. Yep. So again, shout out to the Big D. Then that's the defense is
I'm gonna have to give them a collective again. Because I mean, as soon as you got to, because I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
Chris, Khalil, them boys, both big playmakers. You know what I mean? The guys held it. It was. I got to go with the defense on this.
Defense.
And it's hard now because I want to give it to, because everybody loves 11 now. I'm talking about Kurt. Hey, listen, I love it, man. When everybody's happy, you know what I mean, for a player like that. Senior night, man. Kurt was on one, like his mom said this morning. He was on one, and so I'll give that 1B gonna be the Kurt. I'm because Kurt gave us some. He gave us some opportunities to win a game last night.
Yeah, he's a senior. Khalil, senior. So those guys played a really good. Again, they didn't take any plays off. So yeah, it's got to be as I think about it, it's got to be the team, and and it's got to be the defense together. So for me, but my boy on the O side, and he threw, not only ran the ball, and he
Do that
threw
touchdown pass.
that
Well,
flick.
should have been a touchdown pass. Caden, this summer, Marcus Pope. I'll pay for the sessions, Bubba. We got to get that speed up. You should have scored that one, KD. You should have scored that one, KD.
Casey had to wait on a little bit too. It had a little air up on it.
Yeah. I got that part too. Now you did have to wait. I give you that. I give you that. You did have to wait.
He still had 4 on him though. He still had about 4 or 5. He still had 4 or 5 yards. But again, he's a junior, and when I'm sure he's going to work on that, get that, work on the speed, and just be, unstoppable next year. But it was cool. And in fact, that's the first time I've seen that play since last year when
Zion threw it.
Yeah, Zion threw it last year. Same side of the field, obviously.
Yep.
And I think he may have thrown it for a touchdown.
He did. He did. I remember it last year. He did.
And theoretically, this should have been a touchdown too.
Yeah.
But it's all big play, man. So all right, I'm good, man.
All right, no doubt. Again, you guys, y'all make sure y'all tune in. Oh, hold on. You know what? I'm not even gonna try it. I ain't even gonna try it. I'm gonna get out of here.
Was that you're trying to play one of the?
Yeah, we getting out of here pretty good. Let me see if I can change this one thing. I don't even know if that's gonna work. But yeah, man. Just a kind of heads up too. I'm going to be working on a situation. I'm going to find out some more about what happened over in the Dunbar area last night. Apparently there was some situation. So yeah, let's play this.
Festival.
And there it is, homecoming. There's going to be a ton of information coming out. I see the flyers already coming out. There's going to be a bunch of parties. It's going to be a whole situation. So the more information you have, the better prepared you are going to be to deal with, the crowds and all this other stuff. So,
hey, the numbers. I got the numbers in this week working with this company that tracks individuals, and so we can know how many people coming out. So that analysis yesterday was 4,000 people on at the festival last year. 4,000.
Gotcha.
And that helps us with we get funds for.
That's going to expand this year because I think we're the last one in the county to have our homecoming. So
vendors, bring stock up, because I think a lot of them sold out last year, and so it's going to be a good time. We're going to keep it safe. We'll have security, beefed up just for make sure everybody stays good, and we're protected. We're looking at probably a shut-off time for the youth and that kind of business too. We don't want them hanging out, late night. So we're something we'll think through, but. A lot of activities for families, friends that are coming in home and that kind of business, and we look forward to seeing everybody. So that's homecoming on first of November. The 2nd is the festival. But before then, the 26th of this month, which is next Saturday, this coming Saturday, is the Veterans Parade, 1 p.m. Saturday. And Thursday, the 31st, the Halloween trunk or treat and that kind of business, all of that's going to be held at the high school, at the students' parking lot. A lot of great things set up. It's a combined effort this year between the town and the high school. The high school, taking the lead on this thing to make it happen. So check out the flyers and the information for that. And we look forward to seeing everyone.
Absolutely. I'm sitting there trying to get that flyer up. As you see, I'm having a hard time here. This is not for the phone, I tell you. This is the studio. But here's some more pictures from senior night. Let me go through these real fast. There's old
There he
Kirk
is.
right there.
2 big interceptions. That's one of the bookends.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what I got here. All right, guys. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there because I'm about to mess up something. But anyway, good show. Look forward to it. Y'all make sure y'all check us out on Tuesday night, Real Talk Tuesday, as we get closer to this election. And y'all have a good rest of y'all Saturday morning.
All right, my friend.